Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fireside Cast. Today we're going to be going over the RGL Season 19 Advanced Grand Finals. Quake White versus Mpreg.tf. My name is Exile. I'll be your play-by-play commentator today, and with me is Piika on production, and I have Unicorn Wizard as my commentator. How you doing, Uni?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to hopefully see a nice, long back and forth grand finals. Maybe a little bit better than the invite one, but I'm excited.
Yeah, usually Advanced recently has been pretty interesting to watch. I mean, not saying that because I was in it recently, but I do think that Advanced has a lot of competition at the upper kind of echelon of the division. So I'm kind of interested how this is going to go, and especially since these rosters, we'll go over those in a bit, are filled with players that I personally know. I'm sure that uh, you know them as well, since I know you're friends with some of them, and I'm also friends with a lot of these players too. So it's going to be very interesting, and I'm excited for this. This will be a best of five, so it's going to be a long match for sure. Just to start off here, we have the vetoes in place, and I'm going to talk about the maps. It is pretty interesting, the maps that happened. Obviously, Quake, coming from the upper bracket, does have a map advantage over Mpreg.tf. So their first ban is going to be Melworks, and then Mpreg does ban Product. Obviously, a Product is a pretty constant ban in a lot of these matches, just because nobody really wants to play either against a sniper or just like against like teams with better DM or maybe higher DM potential. First pick is actually going to go to Bagel. So even though I said Product's not really a pick for a lot of teams, Bagel has been a very popular map, like I referenced last week. The other week I casted with you, Uni. And then Mpreg decides to pick Process. Oh, sorry, Bagel was Quake's pick. Mpreg picks Process, and then Quake bans Granary. Mpreg bans Gullywash. Quake White decides they pick Reckoner, and Mpreg decides the finishing map, which was Sunshine. So these maps are going to be very, very volatile. We have a lot of we have Koth potential being, both teams have very strong DM capability, but we also have Koth just being a very hard map to kind of play against, certain players like on Soldier, like flanks and roamers and sacks like that. But then we have a lot of pug centric maps like Process and Sunshine, and those are going to be very strong picks for the team that kind of have a lot of players who tend to pug more, in my opinion. But overall, what do you think about these maps so far, Uni?
I mean, yeah, Bagel is becoming a pretty default map for a lot of teams, I feel like. Or maybe if it's not like their first pick, it's maybe like their second or third. It just seems like a lot of teams are settling into it. Process is the classic, right? Reckoner's interesting. I'm curious as to just based on the teams. I Reckoner feels like a pick that I'm not going to say their name. I'm going to say Pineapple Team. I refuse to say it. It Reckoner feels like a map that maybe the Pineapple Team would pick, just because it's a lot of teams like to, I feel like, just refuse to play it. It's just like an instant ban, or they just don't pick it. So it almost seems like the map that would lend itself more to chaos, which I guess a team like Quake with their DM could benefit from in that regard. And then Sunshine is Sunshine, right? So we got three really kind of just default maps that there's nothing really to say about. Metalworks got banned, Product got banned, Gullywash got banned, Granary got banned. So all the maps that are kind of like a bit away from the standard hug, or whatever the maps that everyone plays, are gone, except for Reckoner. Reckoner's that one outlier.
Yeah, Reckoner is definitely a map I haven't even seen played in a match before, to be honest. Like I've never seen it in a cast outside of maybe regions like like Oz Fortress, and EU. I've seen some teams play it in EU as well, but mostly I've seen it in one instance in Oz Fortress, watching one of their streams. So I'm really interested because it will actually okay, it's not guaranteed to get to Reckoner, but I can actually we can potentially see it. So if Quake White wins Bagel and Process, then we won't get to Reckoner. But if they trade out the first two maps, then we'll see a Reckoner game, which is super exciting. So I'm excited for that. Do you want to just go over the rosters we have for these two teams, Uni?
Sure. So on the Quake side, they got Taz and Khalil on Scout, Brummies slash Kavito. He's technically Brummies. I'm just probably just gonna end up saying Kavito because I'll forget. Uh, but Brummies and JT on Soldier, Apathy on Demo, and Windows XP on Medic. On the Pineapple team side, they have, I believe, yeah, it's Pineapple and Gamble on Scout. Uh, Nicholas slash Avril Lavigne fan 95 slash Prick My Nick. I mean, whatever name, I'm just gonna say Nicholas. And a ring. I think Tristan's ring, yeah, because he's roster on Anglerfish, and a ring Tristan on Soldier, Motu on Demo, and Indust on Medic. So they got a lot of experience from at least just their Medic. We were talking about how Indust has been around forever. It's crazy to see that he's still around playing, having a good time.
Yeah, that was so personally for me, sorry, I'm not very like acute to like the rosters of advanced this season, like I said in my previous casting session with Fireside, but seeing Indus playing is a crazy thing to me just because, I've seen Indus play like a long time ago, long time ago, and also just like, he's such a good player. Um, but I thought I thought he wasn't playing, but seeing him playing now is a great thing to see. I'm super excited to see how he does in this match. But overall, the rosters are great, so this is going to be a very good, strong grand finals, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Bagel kind of goes. Because was when we casted, what was the last match we casted? I'm actually forgetting. Was it the
We casted, I think it was upper bracket semifinals, Quake White versus the Faustian Bargain, which was
Oh,
the
and
team
it
with
was Bagel. Yeah, yeah,
Peppa.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so like it really depends on how well they can play Bagel. Because in that game, basically all that happened is Faustian Bargain would have a really good hold or whatever, and then one or two players on Quake would somehow just get through flank, and then they would wipe them. And that was basically every hold, every mid. It was just that. So I'm thinking if they can hold their flanks decently. It depends on how the mids go. Taz is really good at playing cap scout, right? He does a really good job of keeping people away from the point, getting that cap time really early. But if Pineapple's team like can just get that cap time, if they're able to hold the flank, I think this can go really well for them. However, that's a big if, and especially on Bagel, not just because Quake or whatever, but Bagel in general, it's hard to hold every flank consistently.
Right, exactly. I think for Bagel specifically, that map is really kind of controlled. If you have control of the whole map's controlled if you have control of the houses, right? If your team has control of the houses full time, you're going to see a lot of soldiers flanking on top of your medic in your combo while you're fighting point. You're just going to see a collapse happen every couple of minutes, right? So we want to make sure like we kind of see if anything changed on the side of Quake White because they had very good flanks on that map, which was kind of the downfall we saw in upper bracket semifinals versus the new roster we're seeing Mpreg.tf, which has very strong soldiers. I want to see if they're able to kind of do something similar against Quake White, so we can see kind of like a counteract. Upper bracket semifinals was actually the maps looked very close, and the fights were also very close. So maybe we can see some inspiration for change on both Quake White and also for Mpreg to try to counter what Quake White's trying to do. But I'm not really sure how Mpreg's gonna play personally. I do know they have some people who play Pyro. I'm not really sure they're gonna do that this match, but maybe they might. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, but I don't like as far as individual player level. We kind of talked about this against the Faustian Bargain. Like Quake White is probably the strongest on an individual player level of advance this season, right? Like just
Yeah.
looking like Taz, Kavito, JT, right? All of their players have had pretty good success. Some of them at the highest level, right? And they have the DM ability just to. Each one of them has the ability to turn any fight, turn any game just off of themselves, right? That doesn't mean that Pineapple's team is not good, right? They don't have the DM ability. I think it's actually relatively close, like closer than some people might think. So I think if they can just like play as a team, especially again, it's Bagel. If they can just not feed, I think they're actually in a good spot. Because that was kind of something that I vaguely do remember happening the last time we casted with them on Bagel. Quake were not necessarily feeding, but getting a little bit too aggressive. They salvaged it, but they were losing some people and they maybe shouldn't have.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think something that Quake White does very well is salvage for a lot of scenarios. Like they're a team that can go in at the same time. They know the timings because of their high level kind of experience. They know the time to kind of go off of certain advantages, disadvantages. So we're gonna have to see how Mpreg.tf is gonna counter that. I don't really like that team name. I just want to make that known.
I'm
But
just calling the pineapple team, man. I'm telling you.
but like I don't know. I gotta make sure we can say the team names properly. But shout out to Mpreg.tf for having that name. I
Bro,
don't
they
know.
yelled at me for not calling Bear Crongington Magoo. You cannot say the team's name. It's okay.
I just want to be like as accurate as possible. We'll see. Because last week I didn't even call the team names. I said we, like I inserted myself into their rosters. Like we have ad here, right? Like I somehow do that so often. Like I'm a part of the game, but maybe that's just because I get so enveloped in what's happening. Um, yeah. So we're gonna be starting soon here. It looks like both teams have 6 on their team on each side.
Yeah.
What do you think for predictions of who's gonna win this match, though, Uni?
I think it's close. I would just say just because of the upper bracket advantage, I would go with Quake, right? Like I think if this
Yeah.
was a straight up best of 3, there is a good case that can be made for Pineapple's team to win. But I think that one map advantage is so hard to deal with, right? Like they're already both teams get the same amount of maps, so you're guaranteed to play at least 2 of what's it called? Quake's picks, right? So they have that map advantage and they get to play 2 of their maps as opposed to maybe just one of Pineapple's teams, right? Depending on how Bagel goes. I think it's just the odds are a little not stacked against them, a little more in their favor to where I wouldn't really be comfortable picking them. So yeah, I would say it's going to be I'd say Quake will win. I'm saying it's going to be close. I would say depending on how Bagel goes, I could see it being a 3-1 in maps or 3-2, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of said that before we started today. I think a 3-2 is very doable. And obviously Quake would take the edge. Would have the edge in those picks. I'm looking at the map picks and I see a Bagel pick immediately, which means they're very confident on that map. But just how I saw, based on their performance in the upper bracket semis, I can see them actually losing Bagel. Just because, we take some bad exchanges, we let our med die too much, right? We can't control the house as well. Or maybe like our demos are feeding too often, right? Like that could be like a different decider of who wins Bagel, or those small little things. That's kind of just, from my experience playing the map a lot, that's kind of what it comes down to. So I can actually see maybe Quake and Mpreg trading the first 2 maps, where Mpreg will take Bagel and Quake White will take Process, just because Process is a more Pug style centric map, and we have a lot of players on the side of Quake White who are more Pug centric players, seeing that like they play a lot of Pugs. Like they probably play the most Pugs out of anyone in the server at the moment, right? Minus maybe like Pineapple. Like that guy
I was
playing
gonna
like a
say
ton.
Pineapple plays enough pugs for
Yeah,
like 6 people.
that guy I think is like probably on the leaderboard for most Pugs played in the last like 5 years, right? But I digress, right?
Yeah, I think he's literally the top. I think
Yeah, he's probably the
I've checked
top.
it recently, and I think he was up there.
Yeah, on the back of maybe Pineapple, we'll see. So yeah, I can see it getting pretty close, but I do think if it gets to Sunshine, which was Mpreg.tf's last map pick, I think Quake White will take the edge there. So what we want to see is potentially Mpreg taking the Bagel pick and winning the other team's map pick. That's what we really want to see in this. So if we can get to that first map win for Mpreg, I think they can win.
Yeah, I think Bagel is so important as we are going live.
Yeah, it looks like we're going live here. Remember, this is Grand Finals Advance Season 19 for Advance. Quake White versus Mpreg.tf. This is going to be a very exciting match. I'm really excited here. Just going to watch the first mid. I want to see if they manage to get inside of the houses on the first mid, or they're just going to kind of wait for the timer to go down on the point before they take any type of action. Taz does what I know he does often, which is just immediately beeline to the point. Get that initial presence on the point while Apathy supports him from behind. Nothing happening too much, just a little bit of spam going on for both teams. But it looks like Quake White actually took the side of right house on their side, and they wanted to check it aggressive, but nothing was gotten out of it. But the cap is now unlocked, looking for something to happen. Brummy's getting some early spam, gets nothing done though. Motu walks onto the point, does so much damage, but it looks like JT actually does get to pick onto, I don't know what Soldier Death's name is, but just very back and forth happening right now. No one's capped yet, but we are trading numbers in the house now. It is a 2v3 or 3v4 on the side of Mpreg.tf. It looks like Quake White just...
JC went in.
Yeah, they went and it does get forced from behind, but it looks like Quake White has the advantage of Uber now. I want to see how they take this Uber though.
They're not going to want to. Like, realistically, they're going to try to milk this as long as they can. Motu's stuck off behind. Nicholas flying in alone. He does finally get
Oh,
taken
he just
down.
feeds,
They're gonna
yeah.
cap, but then then Quake are gonna immediately recap.
Yeah, so Quick just holding their Uber 100%. They didn't even get forced by the soldier or have any presence to get forced. Oh, but a huge flank coming out of Tristan from the house.
Got the force.
Gets free force.
Yeah,
Looks
that
like
was
just trade the Uber out
about
and
as good
Indus
as you could
lives.
have hoped. About as good as you could have hoped, honestly, in that situation. Yeah, that was basically just Nicholas. I don't know if he was a little too aggressive or if like his scout just abandoned him at the wrong time and he just got ran down in the right house, and then they slowly lost players one by one, and now here we are in the forward hold. They are getting through. The Sits have been dead. Indus hasn't taken that much damage, actually. Oh, the flank shove. Okay.
Huge flank coming out of Quick White. It's
Yeah.
2 for 1. Kevito trading his life for 2 picks. That's a huge pick on the defensive side. Can now Mpreg gonna have a hard time just pushing out of the bottom right corner. Even though they do have ad, they are losing players slowly. But now they have the 2 picks to try to walk back in here. They do take the advantage.
Have either.
They might force. Indus, yeah, uses the 20 ad, does get the pick onto Apathy. Doesn't look like they're going to get the pick onto Windows.eXp, and they're just going to successfully just cap off of that, but now they're down at least full advantage on the side of Quick White.
You said Windows.eXp?
His Windows XP, that's like his whole alias, right? I think that's his whole alias, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it is. I just never heard it
Yeah,
said like
it
that. All right,
is.
right down. They're getting really aggressive. Motu gets taken up by Taz, who might get dropped. No, he doesn't. The Uber comes out. They are going to lose a bunch of people. Indus should be okay. Yeah, Indus is gone. Indus is okay.
Yeah, Indus gets off for free.
The kill on Apathy is actually really big because they're not going to be able to forward hold. If they take their time here and just clear some stuff, they shouldn't really be able to forward hold. Kavito taking some good damage. He just might be caught in mate. He is. That's a really good play out of Nick and his team to get it. Look how fast they're in, by the way. Tristan gets cleaned up. Taz might get traded. Oh, no, the soldiers are too aggressive. Taz does finally get cleaned up. JT is going to get killed as well. So this is a pretty... They lost Tristan, but essentially this Apathy's dead as well. This is a very easy forward hold.
I like how Mpreg.tf actually played that. They played it very slowly, and I don't know if they kind of expected Taz to become a pick there by pushing out the point, but he actually became a trade, and then they ended up losing 2 more right after on the side of Quick White. So that's actually exactly what you want to do, is kind of catch out Taz when he's too aggressive. Oh. It looks like they draw Pineapple on this exchange into the house. It was going to be both soldiers, but it's only going to be led right now onto... I think, is that Tristan? I think that's Tristan. And then it looks like they only get 2 picks, but they trade both players.
They don't know about Tristan. Tristan's here. They have no idea he's here. He's going to get the force.
He gets the force onto window. That's a huge force. And then also Motu lives, which is actually huge. There is a potential fight. Oh, wait, but JT gets it through the house onto Indus, and then Apathy commits onto Motu. Kavito trying to flank from the house, but doesn't get a pick. Both scouts on the side of Mpreg are in still, looking to trade or get some kills. Doesn't get any, and looks like Quick White gets a free recapture. Very fast-paced gameplay coming out of Quick White. They knew as soon as they got their spawners alive, they just want to start pushing, right?
Yeah, this is relatively okay, actually, as I say that, Tristan gets jumped, he just might be dead.
Well, he lives, though.
Yeah, this is actually an okay situation for Pineapple's team. It is 20 disad, but there was no possible forward hold. So you're essentially just fighting mid, right? It's essentially just a mid fight. I don't know if they're going to get this cap. They take down Taz and Kavito. They are going to get the cap. Khalil might get taken down as well. If they don't have Uber yet, they have to be really careful. Windows might just get run down.
Windows could be a pick.
He's dead in main. Windows is abs, right?
Yeah,
there he goes. Okay.
Actually made it a better death there because he got so extended his death timer. And now they're going to try and sack onto the Mpreg.tf. Indus with a great surf getting into bottom right living, but you got to expect the other flankers who could potentially come back in. This is Quick White's specialty. They stay in as long as possible for a potential commit, which comes out of Kavito and Taz onto point. And they end up trading 2 there too. So this is a huge commit coming out of the side of Quick White. And they already have the point on the side of Mpreg, but those spawners are going to be so late.
Look at Pineapple and Tristan. Do they know about them? It seems they don't. Tristan's
I think they heard of late.
Damage. They take down Khalil. That's all they're going to get. Actually, JT dies as well JT dies as well across the map from Motu. It's a 4v4. The recap is going to come out again. Windows. No, they don't want to give it up. Oh my gosh, Nicholas hitting some great rockets. They still have not recapped. I'm really liking this fight. Kavito gets run down in the side house. The recap does come out, but they should essentially just be able to recap right away, right? With Rummies being dead, Windows doesn't have yet. They can't contest that well.
Yeah, Windows XP does have around 40 ad right now, so we might see some sort of Uber come out, but they actually, Mpreg.tf actually does cap under the disadvantage that they have, and then they do get the force on the Quick White. Everyone might live actually, except for Nick does. Nick dies, but it's a 5v6 right now, and they actually kept Medic alive, so they have 80% ad. Tristan is in for the bomb, doesn't get anything. It was actually kind of close, but they come in afterwards. That's actually a decent trail.
They need to be so careful. They're sitting
There
in
are
the
people
corner.
that are flanking though. Oh, yeah, okay. The flank ends up trying to just fight Gamble in house, and Gamble delays enough so they can maybe try to live. But looks like they want to stay committed. They know they have ad. They have a little bit of space to walk out bottom right. Indus and Pineapple are walking in together. They have very much confidence here. They might take the exchange. Indus gets surfed up though. Okay, and they do force Pineapple getting the first pick onto JT. But remember, Windows XP only has 60% right now, and all they gotta do is cap for the next 20 seconds to see who can kind of win out this first round. This is coming to a really close round, but Tristan does end up feeding at the worst possible time.
Yeah, they either need to get aggressive. Oh, I don't like this from Nicholas. Okay, he's gonna live. They need to just like shove flank or something, which Pineapple is doing.
Pineapple actually does do.
He's gonna get cleaned up though. They immediately shove him, which is really good out of Quake. This is gonna be really close. The Uber is just about to come out. It should.
Ooh.
Really good flank by Nicholas. Apathy is really low, so he's not gonna be in the Uber. Did the Uber come out? It did. There's a lot of low players. Indust is still alive. It's a 3v5. However, the cap still hasn't come out, so the longer this takes, the better. They need to be really careful. Indus does get bombed. The flank, yeah, the flank crunch is coming in. They do have spawns coming, but 3 down. That's a little bit too much. It was close.
Just at the end there, we had to really, for the side of Mpreg.tf, they really had to just wait out those timers for spawn, because remember, they had 10 seconds left to play on the cap, but then they decided to try and get that scout pick early for the team to come in and post and collapse on them on point, but they just didn't get it, so it ended up becoming a complete wipe after that. And I think there was a potential to win that for the side of Mpreg.tf, but we didn't find it.
Yeah, that's essentially it. I'm curious how this mid is going to go, because it was fine until Nicholas got ran down in the side house last time. It was really slow developing. Again, Taz just likes to play on the point. Nothing really too crazy.
Yeah, nothing happening too much. It's kind of just the same kind of slow game. Teams both wait for the cap to unlock. JP looking for a fight inside the house onto Nicholas. But he doesn't actually get the kill though.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
Those soldiers get out. Tristan becomes a feed though in the house, and that's not what we want to see. We want to just at least trade a little bit of damage here, but looks like Quick White has the advantage of numbers. Nicholas bombs into the left house from his side, but Kivito counters with a free kill on him. Unfortunate timing from both the soldiers on Mpreg.tf. Yeah, and they're gonna just leave out this mid.
Yeah, nothing really to say. It's the same kind of thing as last mid. They lost a player, and then they lost another player. Although this time, they were able to get themselves out, right? So instead of losing their med, it being a wipe, they are being forward held. You can realistically just bust out. Tristan doesn't get dead on. That's really well played out of Apathy, not to take that easy soldier kill. JT is going to get run down in the corner. The Uber does come out. The trade does come in.
Great surf from Nicholas actually living there after the forest. And the
job
Uber,
by Taz. It's way better.
Dies.
It's so much better. Oh, Indus is dead.
Taz taking this Uber so deep into the other team's ramp, Mpreg.tf ramp. Indus looking to live as long as possible, but he is just going to end up dying. It delays the spawn a little bit, but that was a great Uber coming out of Taz. He does die for it, but honestly, 5 for 1 is honestly a great trade.
Yeah, I mean, the Uber was it was slightly better for Quake, and then Taz just stayed in so aggressively, split up the players on Prison. Great bomb takes down windows as I'm talking.
Oh, huge bomb. Dude, I'm seeing so much active plays happening on Mpreg.tf onto Quake White. Quake White looks like they're just playing the small advantage that they have, and they're kind of just letting Mpreg.tf walk into them first, which is kind of not what I'm usually looking to see, but from that team's playstyle, but they're actually doing it in this grand finals. JT with a bomb onto the Indus, but it doesn't actually get anything. Tad looking to trade out potential onto Motu, but doesn't get it either. And looks like that's a 2 for 0 actually, because Gamble's just spawning on the side of Mpreg, and they have cap control. Maybe they can set up some sort of forward hold, and they also have advantage. I'd like to point out around like 60% ad, but I'm pretty sure Windows knows it. So I don't think he's gonna like let himself die to their ad. So we're gonna see how they try to do some sort of sack wave maybe. Looks like they're just stacking lobby. They haven't looked to pressure bottom left just yet, but looks like they're trying to now. But the Uber goes straight into them. It does end. Pineapple and Motu just go straight into Window and Apathy and gets both of them.
They need to
this is a
really
huge flank. Though. Yeah. They get 3 picks, but now what are they gonna do?
They're just killing everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great play, honestly. Great Uber from Pineapple. That's a great response to what's happening already in this current match. Oh, and Taz just feeds by himself. That's okay though, because I mean he's gonna have the same respawn as everyone else, so it's just gonna be a standard kind of dry fight with no Ubers really in play yet. So, but the Indus does that.
Yeah, that was honestly the best Uber you could possibly hope for. They literally lost nobody. They didn't lose the point. They killed the other team's medic. JT gets through on the right. They should be fine. Actually, as I said that, no, Nicholas and Pineapple both are killed. as I say that, Brummies, Taz dead. Tristan's in on the flank. Apathy's
Oh,
dead.
wow,
Windows is
nice
dead.
fight.
It is just Khalil. They know where Khalil is, so they should be okay. Yeah. There's not a lot that Khalil can do right here.
Khalil's looking to stay in, though, just trying to get some info, but they're probably saying from the backup. He doesn't have much he can get here. Indus is playing in a position where he's not killable by the scout, and it's just going to be a reset, but Indus has full advantage for Mpreg.tf to take into Quick White. Brumy's looking to push house by himself just to get a little bit of info, but nothing too crazy. Now, we might see a sack coming in for the side of Quake White. There is a lot of time for a sack move to come in, but actually, Pineapple takes the Uber through house, exchanges, kills Khalil and Kavito, but that's all they're gonna get. There might be players behind. It looks like JT decides he's just gonna bomb the spawn. Yeah, he's just gonna live for as long as possible.
They should really focus on killing JT if they can. No, JT's sitting literally all the way back to their spawn. Are they? Yeah, they are. They are. They're sending everybody for JT. That's good. He might get a kill. Okay.
This is the right thing to do, honestly. He might get a trade. Okay, no. Very close. But they got the capturing that for Quick White.
You kind of have to do that, though, right? Like,
yeah,
that player behind, no matter what the situation, it's gonna split your attention. Now, okay, now it's a 5v5 regardless with Pineapple down to the trap. But you kind of have to take out that person. You're not going to want to fight regardless. Taz taking really good spam on the point. He is dead. Their Hep is going to come out. Windows does have now. Are they going to want to trade in?
It is a risky trade-in for sure. They have a scout, so they potentially could, but they're not really having much ad anymore. It looks like Indus takes the ad with Pineapple into Quake White. It's going to be a decent exchange, but it looks like JT gets a kill in the house on a soldier. Brummy's staying behind, looking to bomb Indus as he exits, but he ends up just dying for it. Motu's getting bombed. He's living. He's going to live. JT dies too. Motu living for as long as possible. Khalil ends up cleaning him up. Taz and Window just walk into point and just try to get as many kills as possible, but looks like they're met with Indus and Gamble.
Windows is dead. Tristan killed him.
Oh, Tristan with a huge flank.
Indus is still alive?
Wait, everyone's living for so long. Like, nobody's dying instantly in these fights. They're all taking very long fights. Indus lives the entire time. It's great to see. It looks like they just want to try and get the cap, but they gotta expect Quick White looking to sack here with the disset that they have.
Yeah, and they're playing this really smart. They're slowly getting cap time. Windows was so far back, waiting for everyone else on his team to show up. 6v6, 45 ad for Indus. This is looking really good for Pineapple's team. You are allowed to give up the point here. That is okay as long as you don't feed someone. Nicholas bombs forward. He actually might just be dead if they run him down. I don't know if they are. He just gotta walk. What?
Oh, I don't know about losing 3 players for that. I mean, they will get the cap guaranteed there, but they ended up losing 3, so these spawns are quite staggered. Now, what we don't want to see is if Quick White can get Uber on this 50% Uber that Indus has for the side of Mpreg.tf, but it looks like they're going to try, Mpreg.tf is going to try and take it as quick as possible. They do have only 3 seconds left on the timer, so there is a bit of overtime to play around afterwards. They use straight out of main. Great Uber. Tristan getting onto Windows' head. He doesn't get the 3rd rocket, though. It doesn't kill him. Looks like the Uber's going to fade for Indus, but Uber's going to come back out of Windows right after to go for the cap. Looks like they take it into Indus. Gamble, Motu, and Indus die immediately. The last one alive is going to be Nicholas, but he's not going to live for very long. And maybe Tristan can somehow respawn and salvage something. He's coming in from bottom right against 6 players on the side of Quake White. Going for the high bomb, this gets denied immediately. And looks like that's going to be the end round here for the side of Quake White. A 2-0 start for Quake White. Honestly, Mpreg had the positioning, they had the situation to win that, but they honestly, they honestly threw it, just losing 3 players with advantage, maybe losing cap time for no reason. They could have maybe held it for OT potentially and just Ubering back in, but I'm not too sure.
I was literally sitting there in silent disbelief. Like they threw that so hard. That was an easy win for them. I don't know what happened. Regardless, 2-0. It's been close, right? They absolutely can bring this back. I think honestly, well, Tristan said, and Nicholas. All right, and you run, and you're out, and you're gone. Bye bye. And Pineapple's
and Pineapple dies. Boy. Looks like Khalil's looking for the flank behind. Gets another kill on Motu. Is he gonna keep going? He's gonna try, but it looks like Gamble and Indus are just out all the way to spawn. Another win for mid fight for the side of Quake White. Actually, I think they've been winning most mid. I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, but they've been relatively back and forth. Like this is the first one that was like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't really get to see what happened. Both soldiers just blew up immediately for Mpreg.tf and then immediately using Pineapple afterwards. Tristan getting through bottom right onto Khalil. Khalil's untouchable though, but he ends up trading him, which is actually good. No, it does catch the straight pipe and drops to Apathy, and then they just collapse on them afterwards and completely wipe Mpreg.tf. Oh, it's a 6 for 4, or 6 for 2 on the side of Quake.
Okay. That drop is okay. You just need to pipe from across the map. I don't know. They just need to support their soldiers more, I feel. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like Tristan getting too aggressive, which I love Tristan. I played on teams with him. He can be a little bit too aggressive. That's kind of his style of roamer. Or if it's just their scouts aren't supporting, or so, I don't know what it is. But like they're dying a little bit too early. As I say that though, Apathy gets taken down. Tristan Nicholas again immediately dead. It's a 3 for 2, 3 for 5 for 2. So it's they wanted the force. They weren't able to get it. They did kill Apathy, so that's fine. The forward hold will not be a thing.
A little bit of an awkward situation because Indus wasn't building that entire time. So what could be closer to 20 disad is now 35. Tristan ends up dying again. For which play, I'm not really sure. Windows has held this Uber for more than a minute and a half now, so we're kind of looking at this and like, what's going on? But at the same time, Indus is living and getting these Ubers, so we have a little bit of a counterplay for Indus just to make sure he stays alive. And looks like Quake's giving them the point. I'm not really sure why, but because it's 6 up. But I digress. They let them cap. Now this is the situation that Taz likes to be in though, because he's gonna have that full Uber to take into them, which he does immediately, looking to catch maybe Motu. Oh, but he's trying to flash as many people on the side of Mpreg.tf as possible, which he does, and they leave through the house. I actually very much like that exchange, because not only did they get cap time during that, but they also made it so hard for them to refight post-Uber, and then they just cap immediately. Now, the last thing they want to do is try to feed afterwards, but it looks like it's okay, because on the side of Mpreg, they've already lost 2. Kind of the same, kind of similar victims to that kind of feed train. Indus living to a solar bomb. That was a good surf out of Indus. And Motu with a great pipe. 2 versus 3 for Mpreg. They cannot fight this.
They can't fight it, but they can stay forward. They know where all these players are on blue. They didn't. The cap time just happened. They were so what? They were able to get 40 seconds off, which isn't the worst thing. But I don't know if.
Oh my. Yeah, that was way too fast. The goal there again unknown. Not very sure, but it's still fightable. We have Ubers coming up here slowly with a player down. You don't really want to try and take the fight too aggressive into them. It becomes a trade. Looks like Nicholas might get he almost kills the demo there. Unlucky. Tab pushing the house by himself gets through, but looks like Gamble just wants to take the Uber into them directly. But Windows is milking this so long. Taz is about to get a flash and just run over them with this Uber. Indus and Motu taking so many flashes together. Taz just gonna be able to clean the demo. Indus living there is actually surprising. And then the soldiers coming in the post Uber, maybe killing Taz.
Okay.
Not bad actually.
Okay.
This is a huge play. I don't really know what's going on, but and that's 2 kills.
It's both scouts. That's big.
Yeah, now they can't really cap until their scouts are alive. 2 seconds, but it should be fine. JT wants to fight this. Maybe going for Indus. Oh my god!
Oh my god, dude.
That's really just crazy that even happened, but it is what it is. This is grand finals. Anything can happen here. Indus dying to a solo bomb from JT in front of 5 people, basically. Unlucky to see, but
you need to be more passive. Like on it. It's not necessarily an Indus thing. Tristan. Oh my god. They're just in.
Just a train. They have point control and they're just trying to go into them like so early. They could wait a little bit longer, but it looks like the feed train's still going. Nicholas bombs around the core, doesn't get anything. He might be unspotted. Nope, he gets spotted by JT. And Window was actually in their spawn when that happened. He wasn't even near where their players were coming in from for the side of Mpreg.tf.
Yeah. This is going to be one more fight. The forward hold is going to be here. This is going to be a really hard. And there's not going to have Uber, right? Quake are not going to have Uber. This is going to be really hard for Pineapple's team to get in. Tristan bombs in, skips through. He's putting a lot of eyes on him. That's actually really good. Windows is hurt. Isn't going to clean up. They have no cap time though. See, that's
they got through. Yeah, they got through pretty close to like living there too. Like the soldier lived for way longer than he should have, but unfortunately they just couldn't get enough players to point because all of Quake White was just putting up a wall in front of their forwards. Push out. So they tried, but they failed. 3-0 for the side of Quake White right now on their map pick. Let's see if this is going to be the last round, or maybe Mpreg.tf could maybe pull something through. Hopefully just a standard mid where nobody feeds in the first like 10 seconds of mid, like the last mid. Right, so far nothing's happening. Just kind of the same slow play style. A little bit of pressure happening on the side of Mpreg.tf in the house, but it looks like Kavito and Khalil are responding with the counter house, the opposite house. There's more damage coming out of the side of Quake White onto Mpreg.tf. Everyone's getting really low, but Gamble ended up dying. But Motu with the trade and Khalil and Pineapple and Apathy.
Pineapple should, in theory, get killed here. He is now finally dead. Indus needs to live. Indus needs to be gone. Like, it's literally just you and Tristan. You got 2 people running at you.
I don't think Indus is living this.
Gamble?
Oh,
Okay, Gamble does
he
save
does
it.
living with 10 HP though. That's insane. That all was just regen HP. He could have potentially just should have been dead if it wasn't for the regen, but he ends up living, and that's actually huge. Indus is playing honestly fantastic this match, if I had to say. But
Yeah.
oh, but then Brummies trades for Gamble. Not a bad pick, especially since you have point control as a soldier versus a scout. That's actually not bad. But looks like they're able to get through the house anyways. With even at Ubers, Pineapple can't die here. He needs to stick to this exchange, and he gets dropped.
And yep, no matter how good, no matter how late you Uber at this point, it's going to be better. Ooh, Nicholas, nice shot on the flank. Tristan does it taken by Taz. Yeah, no matter how good your counter Uber there is, if you lose your pocket scout and your flank scout isn't really in a position to take it, it's never going to be good.
Yeah, looks like the fight here is still pretty even. There's been a lot of trades happening, but on the side of Mpreg.tf, I feel the pressure. I feel the pressure that they're having right now. They're able to cap and kill Taz, so Taz kind of blundering there, just becoming a free pick. With that scout pick, I want to see what they do with it though, because there's no Ubers in play, but they're down Taz. Like we want to try and push out on the side of Mpreg.tf into something more aggressive, but they decided to just play passive and defensive just to make sure the cap goes down. But Quake White is trying to get in and play aggressive. Khalil taking his body on point. Gamble just dying to Windows arrow. Not a bad shot though, I'm gonna be honest. Taz coming back, and now he's trying to take control of what's going on.
Yeah, the Khalil trade is good. The spawns are about the same. Nicholas dying is pretty big. Taz trade is good as well. So now they're down both scouts, right? The aggression, it's gonna be out of here from. Oh, they used.
Ooh, a force. That was a good force though from Indus. I mean, the soldier got through the house and had a free rocket on him. He was only 65 HP, so if anything, he would have dropped that. So not a bad force. Now, to be honest, in situations like this, when you have this advantage but a forward hold, there's a lot you can do. I've seen Quake White do something similar to what I'm saying in their previous match on this map, where they kind of shove the houses really deep and get aggressive behind them. And I really want to see maybe like Nicholas or Tristan try to do that. But there's a lot of pressure coming in from lobby. I don't think they're even able to get through. Put a bomb into the medic. Gets a free force though, and Tristan gets behind, so this is exactly what I was talking about, but Tristan's alone this time. Motu ends up dying, so there's no demo for the point pressure. But he's still behind, getting chased by Brummies and JT, so it doesn't look like the flank play is going to work out for them in the favor of Mpreg, but
yeah, they actually get there.
Yeah, Mpreg.tf gets on the point, just recaps. This is actually decent so far. Tristan making a lot of space.
Yeah, but they're just going to immediately recap, right? They have to get aggressive and hope they get a pick, being down Tristan. They are actually holding him pretty well.
Yeah, but Indus has advantage here, so there's still 60% advantage here. Bomb from JT gets the kill on Indus again, and trades for Nicholas as well. Insanity, dude. This guy's solo bomb. JT solo bombs have been working every time. Just like in our match we spectated against Fostian Bargain. It's the same bombs happening, and it's just working.
Yeah, he just goes in and doesn't really get killed. Like, granted, the surf from Indust wasn't the greatest, right? It was a relatively easy air shot, whatever, but he jumped in at like 120, I think. He wasn't healthy. He should have been killed before he was able to get that second rocket off.
It's just that time that he sees from the houses where he's able to get in.
Oh, wow, all right.
Three-man sack. Indus has someone to leave with hopefully this time. No, it's a 5-man. He's not building again. This is our issue. We got to make sure on the side of Mpreg.tf they have someone building full time, because it becomes more than just a minute on the clock if they can't even get the Uber.
Yeah, it's gonna be essentially a minute, probably a minute before these Ubers even out. Realistically, they should try to get some pressure out before Indus was down low. I didn't see what happened.
You got balled by that scout.
Tristan's dead. Nicholas is dead as well. They are just running, and JT bombs onto Indus. He does.
And he gets it. Another free bomb from JT onto Indus's head, man. I don't know how he's getting in, but these bombs are working really well for him. I'll give the credit to JT for his timing. I can't say that it's just on the side of Mpreg that their medics get dying to a solo bomb. I think JT's finding those opportunities and getting the kills he needs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just that. I mean, that was just they bombed out through lower right. Pineapple ran in, and JT just bombed in behind. Good kill on Scavito. Okay.
Decent trade. Ooh, two-shotted.
This is actually going as good as it possibly can. It is a 4v4. The damage is really good. The Uber does come out. Is Indus dead? Yeah, Indus is
JT flanks from their spawns. We find another timing just to go into them. I can guarantee you that JT is kind of just screaming to his team, I can flank, can you guys go in? And the collapse is just always there for him. And I'm pretty sure Indus knows that too, and his team needs to kind of need to work on it a little bit better. But it looks like Tristan gets a good kill onto JT and lives, so this is a good kind of change of pace here. We have Mpreg has 15 seconds to try to go in here and take this sloppy fight with Uber disab, but not by too much. We just Mpreg just needs to get a little bit of time on the cap.
Good rocket. Is in. Indus is probably dead. Yes,
Rummy's pulling a JT and doesn't do it. He doesn't get the kill though this time. I think if JT was in that situation, he might have still got that medic, but I digress. Looks like Cuake has a little bit of ad.
They're
It looks
all
like
inning.
they're just sacking though. Yeah, it's just gonna be a sack. JT's bombing in secondary to Apathy's bomb, but it looks like they're both just gonna feed. Scout behind Khalil looking to kill Indus. Indus is 140 HP. He's not gonna make a kill anytime soon.
Yeah, killing Motu there is honestly fine. It means they can't forward hold at all, right?
Yeah,
Can't
no forward
really
sticks.
do anything. Windows is going to get Uber first. It shouldn't matter that much, although Taz is getting pretty aggro.
Yep,
Yeah.
Quick White looking to get on point, or Taz leading his team onto the point. Apathy and Taz play the point beautifully with each other, except when Taz kind of blows up by himself, but an exchange coming out of Pineapple onto Quake White. No, it's just a decent exchange. Apathy does need to get a flash here. Motu living in this Uber is actually a great thing that's happening. Both houses are being pressured, and there's a little bit of cap time for Quake to just cap to finish, but Mpreg knows that, and they're trying to deny. And JT feeds to the Pineapple, and Motu's pipes are crazy right now.
They do take down Motu. That's fine. Kavito could do something massive here. Okay, he does. He gets cleaned up good. The recap time, fine. This is looking relatively good for Pineapple's team. They're not going to have Kavito for this final fight. It is going to be a 5v5. Let's see how they handle it. Dell bombs forward. Oh, he's getting mulched. He doesn't get killed, though. Pineapple's hurt. Taz is hurt. The damage is crazy. There's no kills, but the damage is insane. They need better focus fire. Oh, they take down Taz. That's fine.
But they're all so low.
Perfectly fine. Yes, they're hurt.
Mpreg, oh, Brumby's getting a huge bomb into enough, but a huge trade.
It's just DM. They get it.
Wow, you know that's crazy what I just witnessed, because both scouts on the side of Mpreg got really low before the side of Quake even got in, but then you see just feeds on point, and then it makes it pretty much even, and then Nicholas took initiative there and just bombed in first and spread out the damage, and then they were able to get cleaned up on the side of Mpreg.tf. So that was a huge round there. A lot of mistakes still for honestly both teams, but we clutched out a win on the side of Mpreg.tf.
Yeah, okay. If they win, I will say their name.
Okay, sounds good.
That's how we're gonna do this. Nicholas is getting run just again. Yeah, no, there wasn't. They're so aggressive in right house. Like, it's
too fast.
I'm pretty sure that's. I think he's died first on like every mid, or almost every mid. He just gets run down.
I think it's like 4 out of the 5 mids so far. He's been the first person that's died here. Motu gets a good kill on the Tazo. That's a great pick for the start of this fight. Ends up with a good surf above JT's head there on his first bomb in a mid. Motu living the entire time, but Brummies cleans up on Indus. We walk back in without the contacts of that second soldier and ends up getting the pick onto Indus. And then he died. I don't know where Nick died there. Did he die in their spawn? Like, where was that? Oh, he was. He was in their, like, house.
He's not even, like, doing anything super crazy, right? It's not like he's just going in and feeding. Which Tristan is doing right now, but that's okay. But like he's playing relatively normal spots. He's just getting run down.
Now these feeds from the soldiers might be okay if we space them out longer and are able to keep the point control the entire time. But huge bomb! Oh, Gamble drops window there. Huge collapse from Motu and Gamble. See, that's a great commit right there if I've ever seen one. Yeah, and he just lives the entire time. He only has 20%. I feel like he should have a little bit more. But again, like when we're playing this sporadic as a team on a COT, it's hard to kind of stagger and get your scout to build with you. But they're trying to push bottom right here with the 40 ad they have. Now remember, they are down a bunch of people. They find Kavito. Huge find. That's a ginormous find for the side of Mpreg.tf. Now they're able to walk out of their spawn relatively free, knowing that all 5 of them should be in front. They see JT, so they know there's no soldier. Khalil kind of spawning up by himself. Yeah, no stickies. They might just turn this into a sack, which they do on the side of Quake White. Indus is out of there, though. He's basically just gone.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. Just let them feed into you. You lose Tristan, whatever, that's fine. Nicholas is a little bit too aggressive. He is going to live. It's a 5v5. Honestly, to get the super take to...
Oh, and then they re-push back into the house. Quake White realizes that they're okay to drive fight this after getting the initial pick, but they stay in. Pineapple's chasing, but for which pick does he want? Oh, 2-shot onto Khalil. He might just kill Windows, too. And he does.
They're going to lose Indus, but like, with everything that happened behind that Uber, that's actually fine. That's literally the best that you can possibly hope for.
Oh, Pineapple takes that cheeky 1v1 at the end there, though. Almost gets Taz, but not this time.
Yeah, good job by Tristan cleaning up. Nicholas is going to... So, that's basically the best you could have hoped for, what just happened, right?
Yeah.
As soon as that Uber came out, I'm pretty sure they lost 2 players. They lost 2 or 3 players as soon as that Uber happened. Brummies is like 2 health. He lives at 2. That's crazy. Nicholas, really aggressive right house. I would just... If I'm
They should fight right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Go into them. They're down 2. Down 2. Players just spawn. Taz might be a pick. The Pineapple he actually is. Probably bombs Motu, but are we going to trade more than 2? It looks like we're losing 3 actually for 1. That's not what we wanted there. The timing was there. I think they should have taken it just a little sooner while they were down 2, but they didn't. They might have not had the HP, or maybe they had the spawners, but they ended up losing 3 for the 1 pick onto Taz. Taz is probably not happy about that though.
I mean, anytime Taz dies, he's not happy. He's a very,
Yeah.
he's a very intense man, I will
Yeah,
say.
he gets upset. But other than that, he's gonna be happy with that result no matter what. Remember the Ubers are even now, so I want to see how Mpreg is able to
Oh
push out
my
of this
God,
cleanly.
Nicholas. Oh,
Oh, barely
that's
misses
the
the
most
kit.
unfortunate. Okay, JT trade. That's fine. Get
Good
out. Just
response
use. Just
though.
use. Just use. Don't use modes. Oh, they dropped
Hold
modes.
on, we can milk
Windows
this
got
though.
hurt.
Looks like Quake has user Uber, but
Get
there's
out,
only an Uber for
bro.
Pineapple. Yeah, he milks it, dude. That's great. That's great trigger discipline there. If he used that Uber, that would have been a horrible situation that he put his team into. But Pineapple keeps with Indus, so that's a great solution to that.
Yeah. But while this has all been happening ever so slowly, the cap time, like, look at this. Kavito is pretty far forward. They know about him. Nicholas bombs in. He pushes back Taz.
Ooh,
Indus should
gamble.
be okay here. Yeah, they take down Khalil. Except JT. You need to know where JT is. They found JT. He gets killed. He is going to get traded immediately. That's a 1-for-1. That's fine. They can cap. That's fine.
Denying Tristan there is okay. Now we can set up the forward hold of our dreams, potentially. We can have maybe Motu set up the forward sticks on bottom left. He's been sticking main too often. I feel like he needs to spread out his sticks a bit
Yep.
further. But other than that, it's okay. We have the forward hold in the house. Indus has full Uber. Window, they're just going to wait on the side of Quick White to get Uber. Just to make some sort of exchange. But JT gets onto Indus, maybe forces him. He does. He does force him. Holy. Free force. And Windows, I don't think he has to use.
No, he's perfectly fine. So now you're in a weird spot. You could try to forward hold, but I don't really think they are. No. Kavito's through. He is through alone. They could crunch off. They were trying to forward hold. Kavito's just crunched. They
Oh,
take down
Khalil.
Khalil. Good kill on the flank. Now they're getting
Just-
crunched. Now they're taking a lot of damage. Taz
Oh,
might get
Tristan,
caught here.
great.
Apathy's caught. Real. Now there's the crunch. Good job. And now you don't chase. You don't chase anymore. Well, actually, they're feeding.
See, when Tristan's alive and is able to have people play with him, it actually works out a lot. I feel like he always has a scout with him on the side of Gamble for Mpreg. He just needs to make sure somebody's with him when he does these types of plays. Not all the time because they could be feeds, but that play was perfect. He got the first kill on the Khalil and then lived for so long, becoming a trade for Taz too. That was amazing. But I think his pipe almost dying there.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot of cap time here. Nicholas going to live somehow on the right side. The Uber has not come out yet. They still have all this cap time. This is great.
Ooh, a great
Nicholas
flank
is
coming
in.
out of Gambler. Oh, and that drop! Oh my god!
That's massive. That's
Huge flank coming out of Nicholas and Gamble for the drop. Amazing pinch there. And Indus lives again. He doesn't even need the force.
Mozu's dead. That's perfectly fine, though. Like, look at the cap. The cap time's even now.
Oh, they saw JT behind,
I
maybe.
swear they better. Okay, JT left.
Okay, yeah, that was scary. JT looking for it. The fact that he went for it there, at least looked for the opening, was good for him. He knows like this the consistent problem that Mpreg has is they have flanked too much. But now they have full ad, and let's see how QuakeBoy kind of answers this problem. They have 20 seconds on their timer.
Oh,
on
that's
Mpreg.
a great answer.
Oh, JT getting the pick onto Nicholas for I'm not sure why. Pineapple gets dropped. They have one scout alive. Gamble needs to do something with his Uber soon with Motu potentially.
Tristan's dead as well. Tristan's getting
Tristan dies to Brummies. This Uber will kill Apathy.
But like,
Okay, they gotta turn around.
you're about to get crunched.
Man, that was set up perfectly for Mpreg to do what they needed to do with that Uber, but then like just random feeds, it kept happening in the houses. We are not answering this problem of the feeders coming in so slowly through house, and that's a 4-1 for Quake White. Now, that was a very strong win for the side of Quake White. It was very well played from them. I think there were a lot of back and forth though. Quake White had a lot of good presence when they had cap. They had people pushing houses properly, and when they were denying the side of Mpreg soldiers, they were able to just clean up easily. But I digress. That was a good first map for the side of Mpreg or Quake White. That was their map pick, so it's not surprising that they won it. But I saw a lot of good things for both teams, and there was a lot of potential that was there for Mpreg as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really just kind of seemed like a less worse version of that last time we casted on Bagel, right? They were able to absorb a lot of the aggression a lot better. It wasn't so much flank shoves this time. It was one or two players just feeding or dying earlier, and that's not even flank shove. That's just flank aggression. And looking at the logs, right, it reflects it. Nicholas 14 and 34. The damage is good, so it's not like he wasn't doing anything, but he's 14 and 34. Tristan 21 and 39, right? Like, it's not insane stats for soldiers, but when you compare it to the other soldiers, Kavito 34 and 27, JT 33 and 31, I don't even necessarily think that's the soldiers playing better. You know, usually when you see stats of one person over another, it's like, oh yeah, they're just playing better, right? Which it could be the case, but I think it's more they weren't supporting their soldiers in the house, or the soldiers were getting a little bit too aggressive. One of the two. It was both were happening, and that's yeah. And when JT would go in, it would be a flank that no one would see, or he'd have a scout with him. Same thing with Kavito, right? So there's that. Motu 24 and 29. He died like the damage was the same as Apathy. He had more kills, but he also had 10 more deaths. And 10 more deaths on demo is a lot. And then I mean the elephant in the room is the scouts, right? Khalil 47 and 15, Taz 43 and 27, right? Like there's only so much that you can do when scouts are doing that to you.
The problem that I see the problem, but also the difference between the last match we watched to this one, upper bracket semis versus grand finals, is the cap time this time around was not played around just let's play objectively, let's wait for the cap to trickle down slowly. This was a pure blitz of a game where both teams were looking for frags whenever possible, right? We had both soldiers on our all four soldiers for both teams pushing the houses aggressively together on countering each other's kind of aggression, right? And we have these Ubers kind of going the exact same way. We lead both scouts, take it super deep. Even when it's at Uber, we go super deep into their houses on the side of Mpreg and Quake. They're doing the exact same Uber trades. The only difference was is the kill differential for these dry fights. It became down to which soldiers fed first and the flank kind of collapsing afterwards, right? And we saw that with Quake White more than we saw with Mpreg.tf. And that's kind of the crucial difference maker between Quake White and Mpreg.tf is that Quake White soldiers were able to live a lot longer and find more value within their bombs. And it must be because of the timing that they do it. There's going to be more coordination, more cohesion between each player, and also kind of less of a solo play other than maybe JT. JT was doing a lot more solo play, but it didn't always come with a solo play. It came with a response. So we had a lot of kind of reaction to what was going on. But on Mpreg.tf, we didn't really see that. We saw a lot less coordination in those soldier bombs and collapses. We saw more solo play that kind of ended quickly. If you're going to go for a solo play, most of the time you want to kind of elongate that play as much as possible so teams can play off it better, or the other team has to respond it for longer. And we just see instant deaths from the soldiers, full collapses happening on the side of Quake White, which would eventually kill the combo of Mpreg.tf, but Indus actually living a lot longer in these fights, and honestly living every single time these situations did happen. Not every single time, but most of them. I just think one of the things that he was doing is baiting a lot, which meant he wasn't actually even getting a lot of Uber himself. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the whole situation of these fights. But again, that was Quake White's pick, so maybe Mpreg wasn't too comfortable with the pick. But I'm not too sure. What do you think about like the let's look at the matchups here. What do you think about Tristan versus JT, for instance? Look at these two matchups for now.
Uh, JT is really good DM, right? He's been making a lot of smart flanks, honestly. I'm curious to kind of see how it continues on process, right? Tristan's kind of thing is that he's not afraid to go in, he's not afraid to be aggressive. He is really good and has good DM, and also that he's really good at off-classing. He's played spy a lot, he plays sniper a lot. Doesn't really lean itself on Bagel, right? There was literally 0 off classes on Bagel. On process should be a little bit better. I think they just I think he needs to play a little bit less aggressive because the team is not playing in a way that's supportive to him right now.
Right.
Like he can, it's that type of soldier where you'll see them just go 10 and 30, and then another game you'll see them go like 35 and 15 or something, right? Just because everything is lining up. They're not really changing how they're playing, but things are lining up and working better in their favor. Their team might be supporting them a little bit better. So I'm curious to see how that works on process, because usually you don't see roamers doing too hot on process, especially when the teams are even, right? It's a lot of feeding, a lot of I'm gonna bomb in when they're in choke, get them all to shoot at me as my team walks across the point. So I'm thinking him and the JT as well. I think they're both gonna have high deaths. I think they're both gonna have high impact. It just is a matter of which one is able to choose their moments of aggression a little bit better, and which one's team supports them as they're going in better.
Yeah, that's perfectly explained. Honestly, like for process, as a pick for side of Mpreg.tf, it's a safe pick because realistically, a lot of what that map is going to be a lot of back and forth between soldiers bombing, kind of fading, And collapsing on that map will be a lot better for both team soldiers because it's more visible of where they're going to commit their bombs to. It's going to be called in advance how they're going to do their bomb, and there's only really a certain amount of bombs you can do on that map that are less creative, kind of more standard, right? So I want to see how Tristan and Nicholas or Avril Lavigne fan 35 kind of do their bombs on this map because it's their pick. We want to see more creative bombs and kind of different types of mids. There's nothing wrong with the standard on a map like Process because remember this map's one of the most pugged maps of all time, so everyone's kind of
Yep.
comfortable with what's going on. So it's gonna come down to a lot of just scripted plays, people doing their job and roles properly, and not becoming instant feeds. And this map, it's really hard to feed on this map if you're just trying to solo do something because you have a
Yep.
lot of IT pressure you can do, go behind, go into their sewer on mids potentially. The high bombs, they're good. The skybox in this map is so much higher than Bagel, right? You're gonna see a lot more committal high bombs, fade bombs, all the sort. And that's kind of what I've understood, kind of how Mpreg is playing. They're gonna just try to commit, but with a little more nuance of their teammates committing with them, right? That's all we need to see.
Yeah, really the only place you can feed, at least as far as like mid is concerned, is you can feed choke, right? Like if you're trying to push into second, you're just kind of messing around in choke. Oh, I have to tell them that we're ready, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, I forgot I was that guy.
Yeah, I think so. From playing against people on the side of Mpreg.tf and Invite before, I can see some of these some of these people playing against them that this would be a map they're good at. Just they have a lot more cohesion on this map. They have more things they can do. Mid is just kind of it's gonna be kind of a gamble for some of these teams. You can't see like Taz by himself run forward and find a kill like he could on Bagel, right? Or maybe even maps like Gully Wash, which is a map he's pretty comfortable on, and that's why they banned it. Um, you're not going to see Pineapple trying to do stuff by himself as a scout. Like I said, scouts are kind of out of the question in this regard for the process mid. So
You
we're going to be
say
looking at
that,
the hit
but
scan.
it's pineapple.
That
Like,
yeah, that's true. Pineapple is kind of a wayfinder of good things, so maybe we can see what he does. All those
yeah,
pugs must have taught him a lot about winning a game for himself.
yeah.
So
And that's kind of like one of the key differences between like a really good and I think a great player, honestly, is a good player understands the map, they have good DM, they all that. A great player really aside of like having all that stuff as well, a great player knows when it's okay to freestyle, right? When it's
yeah,
okay, I see my opportunity to run as a scout, even though it's someone might tell me not to. The opportunity's there. I know what I can do. I'm going to make it happen. A soldier, I see my opportunity to just go in for a solo bomb at this time, right? That's really the difference between a good and great player is just being confident in yourself to make those sorts of plays and knowing when to do them like
yeah,
because you'll see it a lot with like roamers, especially just at all levels. But I think you kind of see it more at like maybe like main slash low advanced.
yeah,
There's a
kind of like
lot
the
of
mid
like
level, right?
yeah, there's a lot of players who are really good. I'm just thinking soldier as a soldier player, but there's a lot of players who are really good at the class, but their decision making really is not the best. And you'll see them have stat lines that are like 10 in like 35 and they're doing like 350 DPM and yet their team is getting rolled because they're going in at the wrong times, they're getting good damage, but there's no one to follow up on them. All of a sudden their team's down 5v6, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Where the only thing they could have done better is made gone in half a second later or gone in half a second earlier, right? Those small tiny things can make a huge difference. And especially like you said, on a map like Process, which if you looked at all of the logs that have ever been played, I would put money on Process probably being the most played. It's either
oh
Process or
yeah, for
Snake. It's
sure.
Process or Snake. I'm thinking it's Process, just because it's been around, I think, longer. But
Yeah, I think Process is the most played map, like at least in sixes format. That definitely makes sense. And because like it even shared like seasons of Highlander, even like other game modes too. In every region, it has shown an appearance.
mhm.
To get off the topic of like kind of how puggy this map might feel, and stay on topic of like kind of individual kind of performances that could kind of affect it. Soldiers are honestly still the biggest playmaker on this map, right? So we still got to see kind of what they do, and we're gonna be starting into the first mid. I want to kind of keep track of what the soldiers are doing. If we see soldiers getting behind in IT or getting behind in sewer, stuff like that, that's going to be kind of what will kind of showcase the future of the mids as well. Just seeing if there's going to be any behind plays in the mid fights.
As we go live. Is anyone going to go super aggressive? Tristan gets landed, or no, excuse me, Nicholas gets landed on by Kavito. Nothing too crazy yet. Oh, actually, okay, Gamble just runs in and two shots.
That's a great kind of prediction of what I was saying. Taz wanting to go aggressive and does go aggressive, doesn't find anything. JT finding a good opening onto Indos but doesn't get it. Brummy's failing his bomb and gets fully denied by Pineapple. So
yeah, Tristan and Nicholas died off that. So that, again, a little bit of a disconnect, right? Tristan and Nicholas bombed in, right? They were ready to go. But Brummies was on the flank, and everyone on his team, on their team, turned to deal with them. So instead of getting mid, and honestly, if Tristan or Nick live there, they can fight second here easily. They don't, so we're just going to see the stereotypical mid to second stalemate. It is a really hard to stalemate to break, especially without an off-class. Tristan's going to, oh, he's just fade bombing in, okay. Gamble's hiding in upper IT, nothing too crazy. My guess is you're just going to see like a solo, right, and then they're going to come up as an off-class.
So that was some great insight on the mid. So the fact that their soldiers did die at the same time for the side of Mpreg.tf. Oh, failed sack coming out of Tristan. Oh, they actually trade.
Okay.
2 for 1. It's gonna be potentially pushable for Quake White, but probably not. Oh, Pineapple. Now it's pushable for sure. Taz is already in. He knows the space he already created for himself. Nicholas looking to just completely deny him by himself, but it doesn't look possible.
Yeah, they need to be gone. Khalil's gonna keep chasing. I really like this. This aggression. Oh, he's not gonna. Motu's somehow alive. Finally is gonna get cleaned up, but look at this. They're gonna be down possibly 3 on mid. Tristan goes in, doesn't get the force. They just have to hold last. Indos be gone. Just all the way. All the way.
Yeah, there's no forward hold presence there. They can just hold them too.
You're leaving. Yeah, actually, Taz is feeding.
Oh, Taz fed again. Okay.
Apathy might be dead too. No, okay, he's fine. But now all of a sudden, they can hold second.
Yeah, it's gonna be a late fight on second here, but it looks like they want to commit to it. Mpreg staying committed on second is actually great to see. Khalil dying to both scouts, that was huge. Both scouts just ran up and meat shot him at the same time, and now both scouts are dead on the side of Quake White. So now we're gonna see maybe just a dry fight getting in through choke here. All spam classes alive for Quake White. Are they gonna be able to try and bomb this? It does look like they want to just live instead. Windows maybe so forcible though.
Oh my!
Wow, LG from Pineapple. Nicholas maybe living here. He does.
Yeah,
no, that was a great like kind of sequence there, honestly.
Yeah, it was 2 different pushes one by each team where they fed, right? The feeds were a little bit different. One was Pineapple's team. See, I told you if they win a map, I will call them. If they win this map, I'll call them the right name. But Pineapple's team just getting caught one after another. On the other side, Cats just got a little bit too aggressive, and the other team in turn turned around and able to turn this. Like we're here off of a single Taz pick, right? It's where Uber ad. They use in. Here they go. The sniper didn't get anything. The gun is there. It is going to
great cap time.
They just got it.
Huge cap time, dude. That is exactly what we were talking about, man. Like I think what we're talking about that's for the future of this game is Mpreg's ability to kind of set up that resistance, right? The resistance on their own pick and knowing kind of what their limits are is going to be the difference maker. I think Quake White is looking for more advantageous plays, and they know what they're capable of in the aggressive category, but not like objectively. They're not playing defensively. They're not playing for cap points. They're just playing for frags right now, and that's what we need to change if Quake White wants to kind of differentiate their like kind of play style right now. Yeah. For the mid here, we want to make sure we spot all 4 soldiers on mid, see how aggressive they want to get. Brumby's kind of finding an awkward bomb.
As you say.
Yeah, and here it comes. Huge fade from JT. Both soldiers are really low on the side of Quake White. It looks like Brumby's is looking for another counter bomb. But everyone on Mpreg is actually pretty healthy. Oh, wait, actually, they're eating a lot of spam pump, but they end up getting the kills, though.
Just don't feed now. Don't feed now. You're fine. You know, yeah, there he is.
Army's going for a huge bomb and collapsed and dead to dead.
They're fine. 1 scout cap. You keep going forward. Honestly, Tristan bombs in. He might just kill Apathy. Oh, Taz is really aggressive.
Oh, honestly, he lived there? That's insane.
I like that. Yeah, he lived. They don't have Windows instead. They're going to kill Taz. They should be able to kill Apathy here. I think he's going to trade with Motu. He does get forced. They're going to kill Khalil. They're going to kill Well, they should kill Khalil. They do. Apathy somehow lives. I don't know how. JT bombs in. He is going to get cleaned up now. They should just be able to take this in the last. They are down 2. The spawns are so bad. Actually, Pineapple's dead now, so they cannot take that.
Oh my god. The pace change of these 2 teams on their separate maps is insane, because we see the kind of coordination on process for Mpreg.tf, and this is why they picked it. They're super capable on the map. They know exactly their limits, and it looks like they're able to counteract how Quake White wants to try to play their own playstyle, which is great. You want to have that level of resistance on your favored pick. Like that's what you want. You want to have a lot of confidence in what you're doing, and you want to listen to the calls, and that they're able to play around each other beautifully right now.
I think what it's kind of speaking to is that Quake are really good at sustained aggression, right? They're really good at forward holding on Koth. They're really good at keeping just that aggression up, and from what I've kind of seen on Bagel, and especially now in Process, Pineapple's team, we're getting there, but Pineapple's team they're really good at like burst aggression. Like all of a sudden we'll kill this guy, and they just rush into them, and all of a sudden they're down 4, right? And oh, bye Tristan.
Just a random sack, yeah.
Yeah, and that really gives it, gives itself to 5 CP, because you really only need 2 good pushes on 5 CP to win a round, right? You need a good mid, and you need to have a decent push in the last, or they wipe up pushing into second, and then you need a good push now. However, right, you just need 2 really good fights in a row, as opposed to Koth, which you need to consistently have those sustained fights. Tristan is on Spy. He is just checking for right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna walk out on Sniper though. Pineapple on Sniper. This is I've never really seen this before. Is he good at this class? Like I've never actually seen it. Yeah,
he's decent at it, I believe. I haven't seen it too much in Pugs, I don't think, but I'm pretty sure he's decent at it. I kind of operate under the assumption that if you can play Scout at a decently high level, you're good at Sniper.
Yeah, I can probably agree to that. Now I play Scout and I'm not like the best sniper, but at least there's like a good attempt that can be made there.
Okay,
wait, Kaz dies on I don't know where. He just gets 2 shots. And then he kills Brovies. The sniper gets to pick the big door. And now it's a 4v2 with an engineer for Quake White. How are they gonna respond to this? The gun dies. Tristan.
They're so close.
They might get the force onto window.
Well, Gambles is dead. They're not getting the force. Oh, here comes the force.
Oh, it's gonna be a force. It is the force. Okay, Indus wants to live here. He can't. Oh, he forces.
Yeah, it's not good for Pineapple's team either. Yeah. And they're down both scouts. Oh no, excuse me, they're down 1 and 1. Pineapple is still on Sniper. He never died. JT's on the point. Oh my god.
I'd say that's too aggressive because both the demo and Nicholas die there. Pineapple's still Sniper taking pot shots. Taz wants to get aggressive on him and get him killed, but he's gonna come and kill himself. Oh, he lives. Boy. Oh, he doesn't live actually. He doesn't live. Tristan lives. Oh, he just kills Bobby's. No way, dude. What? Oh my god, Pineapple kills Khalil.
Wait. And
this is a huge turnover and then a trade.
Wait, we got both of them.
Man, what is going on in this game? This is going crazy already. But it's honestly good for Mpreg. They managed to win off that Indus living the entire time, and Windows lives, but both Ubers are going to be even, but they just can't commit back to second for Quake White. They're able to let Mpreg just like take it back and then set up on last again.
Yeah,
crazy events.
About even. I mean, do you have one of your scouts come up on Sniper? I don't know anything. I've never really interacted with Gamble, so I don't know if he can snipe. They're getting so much damage in 2 here.
Yeah,
both teams are gonna. Yeah, both teams are gonna Uber. Gun's gonna be on point. They're not really aggressive. This gun's gonna get at least to level 2. They are taking lobby now, so it's gonna be a level 2. They just use in.
Yeah, honestly, Uber actually is not that bad. Not that bad. They have tempo off of this. They have a soldier in heaven. This could be actually really good.
You does
get caught there. Yeah. The idea there is you have to have your medic live there, so you can somehow kite and run back in.
Windows is rolled. Oh.
Khalil on Pudis. Wait, I don't think they know about Nicholas. Oh, Windows lives. He's only 1 HP, and then Gamble comes in 1 and gets a kill. Oh, Gamble actually gets 3, 4. Oh my god, it's just Gamble versus Khalil, and he 2 shots him! Oh my god, wait, Gamble's a god? Who is this guy? He's insane! That was insane. He lived through every single person on Quake White.
I think he was low that entire fight, too.
Yeah, he was like barely like half HP, and then he came down to like 10 health once Khalil turned around and shot him, but he lived that entire time hitting every single shot.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's insane. That's a great turning point, though. That's definitely a tilter for the side of Quake White. Like, there seemed like they could win that after Indus died, but I think they just overcommitted to looking for those picks in front instead of turning around, finding this Nicholas and Gamble coming into 1 and 2. Now the mid is pretty much slow, like pretty slow as standard. JT kind of messes up the high bomb. Kavito commits though, so it's just Kavito going in. Indus doesn't take a single out of damage.
Somehow.
Hold on, Apathy just ran at them with a sword. I don't know if you saw that, but he ran in with the halves out to Uchi.
Windows is dead.
Gamble gets the kill. Gamble's playing out of his mind right now.
Okay, good job, Khalil. Taz is in. They
don't know away from Indus. Oh, wait. Oh my god, Taz, instead of shooting Indus, just shoots Gamble. Oh, JT goes in onto Indus, doesn't get the kill. Dude, oh my god, these mids are going crazy. I mean, the side of Quake White had probably like the worst bombs like ever, to be honest, because like one committed, the other one actually failed the bomb. It could have been better, but like they kind of fucked it up. I saw the potential. Indus was kind of in the death corner, yeah. I had to say it because like it just the way it looked like it just looked kind of sad, but
yeah, that was not a good mid out of Quake. Yeah, it just wasn't a good.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, it happens. Sometimes the mids just go like that. And the crazy part is the Indus lived against 2 players on him without much support. Like, he was able to live through those 2 players randomly, which is crazy. And then they had a scout live the entire mid, and that's like what you want to see. So
Windows has been building really good though. Look at this. They're gonna get Uber, and
Yeah.
with the gun is gonna get taken down. They have Uber. I mean,
I think Mpreg thinks it's full ad still, but something you don't realize that like, dude, he actually built like since like the beginning of his death up to like full percent, like
he's
in
dead.
40
Gamble's
seconds.
in. They're gonna Taz. Wait, they're just gapping.
Pineapple just caps again. Okay.
All right, man.
Another Pineapple knows to play that cap, man. He's so smart at just edging that cap without Uber. Like he knows, and I think Indus knows too, because I remember Indus is an invite medic, and Pineapple just finished playing invite too, right? So
Yeah.
he knows, like they know the timing when your Poxio needs to cap, and they're doing it really really well.
Yeah, and I think it honestly, like all the pug experience is helping Pineapple too, because like knowing what to do when everything's breaking down, like it tends to do in pugs, is actually a really important
Yeah.
thing that I think a lot of people don't really have. But we are on the third mid. Nothing really crazy yet. They haven't. JT and Cupojo haven't had a lot of success off the.
Oh my, Gamble just gets destroyed by Cupojo. Cupojo ended up living that whole fight too. Oh, but looks like Nicholas wants to go on IT, but he gets chased by Khalil, so that's a good collapse. Yeah, this should just be an L mid. Definitely an L mid. Indus is chill.
Okay,
Ooh, nice
wait.
trade. Okay, but he ends up dying. Then just run away. There's no holding second, just get the fuck out.
Yeah, what?
You know, they're gonna try. They have Uber coming up.
They have
There's
to
a
use.
here.
Windows.
Oh.
Adopt Taz. They do get the force. Is there a
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That was a great rocket from Cupojo though.
Yeah,
looks like they're just gonna
behind.
stagger
They know
here.
about him. I think he's just killing Nicholas, right?
Oh, Nicholas shouldn't be trying to fight this by himself, but he does end
Oh.
up living though, so that's good. And now they have 2 picks on the side of Mpreg, so they could push mid. But it is kind of scary. Oh, they commit though. Tristan's bombing deep into them.
Oh
It's
my
the skybox.
God. Someone hit him. Someone hit him.
2-6 bomb. Oh my god. Okay, he fucking does.
All right.
That was kind of
Gets
clean
cleaned
though.
up. JT's in. Great bomb. Indus is dead. Good aggression out of Khalil.
No.
They're just all inning. Taz is gonna clean him.
Oh, this is winnable, though.
Actually, he doesn't. Yeah, they're losing a bunch.
Oh, it's winnable.
Windows- Wait, where did Pineapple? Oh, Pineapple was still in mid. I thought he was gone. All right. So it's
Pineapple just stood on stood up front of IT and just killed every player on Quick White just as they kind of cycle the sack in. He killed every single one of them, and even the guy in IT he managed to run in and kill him too. Dude, he has 3 doms right now. He's popping off this map.
Yeah, these scouts are going crazy. Especially
Yeah, this is-
Pineapple.
This is kind of what we were talking about, but the opposite. We were saying like we want to see more plays coming out of the soldiers, but honestly, a scout with really good DM can just turn any fight honestly on this map because of how much high ground they can abuse, and just taking a beam and being 185 can just honestly clean up anyone from any range. Oh,
Huh.
okay, Gamble, bitch ass. Okay, Gamble called him bitch ass. That's
Bitch
kind of his fault, but it's okay. Good as feeds, but it's all good. We have even Uber still. How come these aren't advantages? Actually, I think Indus died there and Windows. Actually, that makes sense.
Yeah, it all kind of broke down. They both died around the same time. So we're in a fine situation though, right? You got 3 minutes 45 seconds. You're up 3 rounds. You got 3 rounds in 10 minutes. Like if you're Pineapple's team, you're feeling great right now.
Yeah, there's so much tempo for them. They can literally kind of take the next like 3 minutes, just kind of assess what's going on, take a little bit of a breather because they've been doing well. Looks like it's a single sack. No type of pressure with him, just going in by himself. But they trade, so I guess it's okay. I want to see a sniper. I want to see a spy. Like I'm praying for some grand finals content here.
I think you're gonna get it. I mean, it's kind of the thing about Pineapple.
Oh, that could be a spy.
He could. He could also go sniper.
I don't think Nicholas wants to spawn anything. JT dying to Tristan there, that's a good pick. That's actually a really late sack. So with the late sack, they can actually pressure really hard into the Quake Whites last year if they wanted to. They killed the dispenser, huge. Oh, not good.
Motu being dead is huge. Taz was on sniper for a second. He switched off. I mean, I think you just need an off class, right? So spy can be successful, cannot. The thing about sniper on process last, it's like, even if you know that they're on stuff, actually these scouts are getting really aggressive on Quake. They might take down Nicholas. Oh, they don't.
I love that pressure. Off of a sack wave, a scout kind of just running forward IT, trying to get that pick in IT or outside of lobby, that's like always a good time to do it.
Yeah.
Nothing yet though, and it's just gonna be it's gonna stabilize. Nothing really happened. We have 2 minutes left on the side of Mpreg to do something on this offense before the map resets to mid. No sniper, no spy. There's a gun on the side of Quake White in the normal spot with the dispenser. This is kind of like the iron hole. Nothing can really be done with just some sort of pressure first. Which they are trying to kill the gun. Pineapple dies. Just dies on the peak.
They're gonna lose 2.
Oh, okay, they lose both scouts actually. Both scouts there. So if Quake White wants to, they can totally peek secondary. Because without the scout, they have no one to take
aggressive. This is really good aggression. Nicholas is dead. Nicholas. You just need to be gone. You're gonna get your scout spawners, so you can hold mid. But yeah, losing both scouts, unless you're immediately holding close with a soldier to take a trade, you're probably just losing second there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that like a good team knows they're like being down scouts. There's really no one to take that Uber, so they know they can get aggressive with their own if they want to. Oh, Tristan dies to JT. I think that was literally just on an IT. Maybe? I'm not really sure.
I think he got aggressive IT. Soldiers bomb forward. There's.
I don't take this Uber. I actually don't mind this. The problem is that Quake White has a lot of high ground here.
This is the problem with it.
And that's the problem, is that we let them through high ground and just collapse on our non-Ubered players, and then we stay on their side for too long and get collapsed on back. Now this is definitely a turning point for Quake White after they wipe all of Mpreg.tf, which they do. It's a 6-0 in terms of that fight status. So now we have like a huge amount of ad here for Quake White. I don't know if they're gonna have to do Uber into last or the push into last without Uber. They're trying, but I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, this is... If they don't win this round, I'll be shocked. Granted, they don't have Uber. The one thing is that they do not have Uber for this, and okay. If they can get a level 3, if they can... Pineapple's team, if they can build pretty well here, they actually should be okay, depending. It is 50% disad. Depending how fast Quake go and how good they can kite, they might be okay. They're only at 40. They haven't been building that great. Are they building at all? Oh, they're not.
If they were building a little bit, they would be closer, but...
Yeah, they would be fine if they were building, but they weren't, and here we are.
Oh, actually, the Uber goes in pretty far, but the gun's not dying. We don't want to lose our players, though.
Pineapple goat.
Oh my god, we get a trade for that Uber. That's actually insane. 4v4 right now. There's soldiers fighting in heaven. The arrow misses, and they do get the kill on the JT. They should be able to leave here, but we might be able to see them get caught here outside of lobby. They don't have scout speed. If they roll out through 2, they could catch windows, but it looks like Kavito actually dissolves that situation and makes it so his medic can live. So that's actually not a bad play from Kavito. Actually, I'd say it's pretty good. So now the situation is just going to even out on second. Actually, Indus has 50 ad here. Now, this is something that is very hard to do, though, is taking the fight into mid with advantage or off of picks. We have the player on the sniper on the side of Quake White in any situation, not having mid or trying to get pressure into mid. JT's on sniper still, peeking out. Headshots Mo2. Gamble's trying to live. Tristan just dissolving that sniper, but they lose 2 for it. So we obviously didn't know how to take that without using. Windows takes 0 damage. Oh, this is not good. Oh, they live though. Oh, but the flank's coming in.
Yeah. They take down apathy. They take down close. Oh, Windows used.
They actually got the Uber. That's not that bad. And Pineapple lives in sewer.
Still alive. Okay, he finally dies. They're fine.
Getting one there would have been insane if Pineapple got one in sewer there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Now if they actually build, they're fine. If they actually have a scout building. Oh Jesus, they don't have a scout for the next 4 seconds. Okay. It's gonna be like 35, 40 ad. Well, if they're paying attention on Quake White, they will know that they haven't been building for the past 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, I want to see them actually build this Uber entirely. Pineapple's on scout, so they're not already just on their off class. It's exactly what we should be doing. And I kind of want to point out that we kind of foretold the prophecy, which is like pushing into mid from process second is like literally half time impossible, it feels like. And it ended up happening because we're back on last. Even though they had a really great defense with that pyro, with that gun, they were back on last, just building the Uber back up to even. And Quake White does take the ad, but it's only 20% ad. Pineapple is actually building this beautifully. Gamble lives. They're going to deny the point. And then they're at 92%. They just got 5% more. They're capping though. Oh. Yeah, I think one of the soldiers bombed the point way too early before they had to deny because they were so Ubered, so there was no one to deny it. But it was like a 5-second change there. They would have been able to hold it with Uber. But it would have been, still a gamble if they won that or not.
Yeah, again, Taz just smart play, getting on the point. He knew that no one would really be able to deny him.
Yeah, some good scout sense from both pocket scouts for this match so far. We understand the cap point play, and just eventually just get that round secured because of it. Just another standard mid, no hiding into sewers, no bombing deep on their side. Both teams playing passively. Gamble, didn't he die the same way last mid? He kind of just blew up top, right? Same kind of mid. Yeah, it looks like the same mid as last mid, to be honest. Uh-oh.
Yeah, relatively. They should be able to get. Actually, no, JT's dead. Vito is taking a lot of damage too. He might get cleaned up on the side here. He does.
Wow.
All of a sudden, it just flips on itself. They got very, very slightly too aggressive, and Pineapple punished them really well for it. Also, Nick hit a really good rocket onto Taz that I think also kind of just saved that mid. But really close. The mids have gotten. Motu just in.
Osu just bomb into the corner. That's okay. Just drawing some out. He actually gets piped from across the world. Window with a decent surf there, living the two-man. But this is a two-man with a demo involved, so I want to see if Quake White does take it into mid, which they should. They have the tempo right now. They have the timing. Both soldiers bombing super deep. Both of them are actually low. One grabs the kit, though, so it's okay.
Yeah, but being down a demo and a soldier, you can't really commit off that damage. And that's taking a lot of damage in choke here, actually.
They end up just running away. Now, the difference between this and the last round is that they actually Ubered there on the side of Mpreg. But this time they decided, you know, that we don't have to take those. We can just live, hold second, and second again is a decent point to hold if you're the defending team. A lot of waves is defend it, deny the sack, so they just want to kind of gamble on that.
Yeah, nothing too crazy right now. They let everything reset. They have a lot of space in IT actually. Kavito bombs in from IT into that. Okay, they take down Khalil in IT. That's fine. Khalil's probably gonna off class. The IT to Al Qaeda bomb is crazy, but Nicholas dead. Tristan bombs in. Windows forced. This is a weird Uber.
Definitely a weird Uber. The exchange is good, but the players dying in the Uber is actually bad. God. They lose 3 for that on the side of Pineapple's team. They're just gonna have to run away. Taz knows he can kill the demo here, maybe.
You think? You would hope.
But he gets it though, so he was pretty confident there, and confidence key there. Wait, but Gamble fucking actually counters that with a demo pick of his own. Now this is fightable. This looks way more fightable. Exactly. So they actually are gonna fight.
Oh my god!
Nicholas a great rocket, and they stay committed. They didn't realize the fight was so bad at the turning point. But they end up maybe losing their medical. Windows surfs actually. Oh, he lives. That's actually pretty good. Khalil and Taz are both dead though.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Tristan dies. That's fine. They just need like slowly push them out. Don't lose anybody else. You're okay here. Now they could refight. It is going to be a 5v4 once Khalil spawns off that late death from Tristan. It does look like they want to refight. Nicholas needs to jump away. Motu gets cleaned up. They aren't even going to leave. Gone. Oh, we're paused.
Oh, and I think we have a pause. It's a lot of like sequenced feeding. It's like very seeded. It seems like the same players kind of feeding in the same ways. Both medics living more often than not, though, which is good to see. But on a map like Process, it's pretty much scripted at that point. Unless you kind of die and drop your Uber, like that's kind of whatever. But a lot of the same scenarios being put into play here. Now it is 3-1 for Mpreg.tf. But we noticed the tempo shift is completely onto the side of Quake White. They're in a lot more winning scenarios now. Even in this fight that's paused, they're up 6-4 players on the side of Mpreg.tf. So I'm kind of curious what is going on in the comms of Mpreg.tf and Pineapple's team.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just need to take things ever so slightly slower. Like, the only reason we're in this situation we're looking at right now is because Tristan went in just a little bit too early onto that mid-fight. He died, and it was just enough of an advantage that Quake were able to get in. They stopped the point from being capped, and here we are. They should be able to get out, right? Like, Tristan's about to spawn. Motu is a pretty late death, so he won't be up for a little bit. They're going to get Tristan. He's not a forward spawn, though. That's the thing. They don't have mid. So you're basically... It's a 5v6. It's going to be a 5v6 on second if they get in quick enough. Which, again, it's not the biggest advantage in the world, but when the one being dead is the demo, it's a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hold second. Both scouts, though, can kind of turn things a little bit on second just because of how much high ground they have. They can deny the soldiers, even blow up the soldiers as they high bomb. I've seen a lot of soldiers just kind of do the fast rollout into second point just to try to avoid those scouts. But depending on how you do the bomb, you can still get caught to them. So it could become just a second hold for the Mpreg.tf, but I'm not really sure. Now, again, the thing I'm seeing the most often is when, we're saying it as it's happening in our casting, but when there's an advantage it feels like Quake White reacts to it much quicker in terms of like damage or positioning. But when you're able to let Mpreg.tf set up for something, they have very good responses to everything going on, and they also kind of have a zero chance of kind of losing those setups. Like they have the right ideas, but they kind of execute them in a way that's too slow. So Quake White being able to respond much quicker to their own setups, that's the difference maker. Is just definitely being a lot faster, a lot more setup, a lot quicker setup rather, and that's kind of what's turning the turning point of this game is kind of just letting those executions happen so flawlessly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is a tack pause. I haven't looked at the logs. I haven't heard anything. Just the way this has been going, I'm thinking that Pineapple and Co are taking a tack pause. You just need to chill. Things were looking good, and then all of a sudden we're here. You lose a few more rounds. Grand finals are already over. Take the pause. Just chill. Although it has
Yeah.
been a long pause. This would be one of the longest tack pauses I've seen in a while, if it is a tack pause.
Yeah, I think teams are unused to doing tack pauses, so a tack pause just becomes kind of like a real kind of pause. Everyone takes their break, walks out of the room or something. Like a tack pause normally around like a minute, right? In like competitive games, it's really around like a minute or something like that, right? We're going over like 3 minutes now, so well, it's okay. I think it is a tack pause for Mpreg if I had to guess, because it's just the situation we're in. But we're not saying that's for sure, that's certain. I really think if Mpreg can slow down with what they're doing, kind of play around the Uber situations, and their soldiers trying to dissolve any plays that Brummies or Kavito and JT are doing, we'll see a much different situation for them.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're winning fights when they're not feeding. I mean, it seems cliche, like, of course they're winning fights when they're not feeding, but, like, the fights are usually going their way if they're just taking their time, especially early on. They were really able to just kill JT, Taz, Kavito, right? When they were running in, they were really able to absorb that aggression, and because they're down a player on a lot of these fights, they haven't been.
Yeah, exactly. I do think they're both teams are playing relatively well. Obviously, this is a map pick for Mpreg.tf. They noticed their kind of tempo they've gotten over the past 4 or 5 rounds now. Like they know where they should be. They're kind of just executing it poorly again. So no, I'm not really sure like what needs to change right now, other than the speed and the kind of positioning that their players are putting themselves in. Like if I had to like point to someone out, I can't really do that. 'Cause it kind of just feels like a whole team's thing, right? I feel like the whole team is kind of committing to some bad calls, and like that's just like the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, they need to hurry up and get this pause done. I'm a human. I'm an adult with a job in the morning. I committed to staying up late, but like, come on.
Yeah, this happens. I mean, I've been in some really long pauses in my fucking career at TF2. Like, it's been there's so many matches that went like. You remember that one grand finals back in ESC that went till like 5 in the morning? Do you remember
God,
that?
I think we just saw a repause. I stopped. I looked away for a second. I think we
Um,
repaused.
uh,
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm seeing things. Dang.
Yeah.
Yes, that we did see repause. Okay,
Okay, there
thank
was a
God.
repause. Yeah,
Yeah, no, there was. It was Froyo versus. It was a center Ronin. I
it
forget
was
what their name
Ronin
was.
versus Fryo, and I remember it was a
It
bracket
was
reset. I
Yeah, it
think.
was a bracket reset, and everyone on a Ronin was ready to go to bed, and Benny was like, no, we're playing tonight. So they went until like
Yeah.
5 or 6 in the morning. As we are back, Pineapple does get cleaned up. They take down, Nicholas is
Oh,
dead. This is bad. I'm going to retry really quick.
yeah, that's fine. They're just backing up at the last right now. It's gonna be a standard last. Now, Indus does have it. They did have advantage, but now they don't anymore. Um, oh, they actually might lose
Oh,
Tristan. They lose
Tristan's
Tristan, but there is a
dead.
heavy. I'm gonna retry too. Looks like a standard kind of hold though.
And Soldiers in Heaven,
That.
the Uber comes out. I mean, you're going to kill JT. You're not going to get on Windows, though, unless Motu hits a crazy pipe. Did you take down Kavito? Okay.
Oh, they got yeah. This is good. I mean, they don't push off of this 100% because they're down number. They have full dishead for Windows or full add for Windows. Um, in a world they lose maybe more than two or like the demo or something, there could be a potential to try to force on their second or something. But like obviously not the situation. So we're just kind of chilling. Now building here doesn't really need to happen because they just lost 100% add. There's no reason to build this. The only reason why they're
Yeah.
building is because they were down two for a little bit. But there's nothing stopping Taz and his team pushing like right now.
Yeah, which, I mean, they're at 70. If they kite it well enough, it's only 25 disad. If they kite it well
I guess
enough,
they can get
could
Uber
be
now.
okay. But Gun's dead. Tristan bombs the point.
Great denial to the point.
Yeah. Oh, I just said 97.
Oh man, that's the corner you don't want to be in when you're trying to get that Uber. There's gonna have to be some sort of kite play there in order to get that Uber charge.
Yeah,
and it is gonna be around for the side of Quick White. Now this is probably where the pause happened. Yep, there
it is.
Yep. So that pause coming out of Pineapple, that's a very good play from Pineapple. I know it's just a pause, but that's a very good mindset kind of reset. Now that the round has reset for both teams in terms of that pause, we're gonna see a tempo shift. We're gonna see a lot of changes. We're gonna see how they play the mids. We're gonna play more methodically now that we have time to talk about it.
It supposedly was a technical pause. Gamble's game was acting weird, supposedly. Fighting on the right here. Nicholas taking a bunch of damage. They could get aggressive on him before he gets arrowed. They don't. That's okay. Khalil thought about it. Gamble taking height.
Gamble almost dying there again. The same push,
so much damage.
Yeah, it's just the same kind of pushes up top, almost leading to deaths on Gamble and other players. Now, this is a very much even mid, though. Tristan going for the bomb on the Scout. Scout living with 1 HP on Taz. Just becoming a singular death, and then they just leave mid. Yeah. We banked on the mid kind of going into it, just a single Scout pick maybe, and it just didn't get it. We didn't have much of a play there other than that Scout, but it's okay. On the side of Mpreg.tf. And it looks like Quake White is trying to do a sack, but they're not getting a lot of room to do it. However, Nicholas does die inside of IT, so that's a huge pick for Quake, and then Gamble dies too, and then Quake White should just get this for free. There's not much reason to chase, but they can try if they want.
Oh, it was close. Motu almost went down. Pineapple is 5 health, and now they might kill Pineapple.
Okay, now he's walking.
How are all these people out? Okay, Motu's dead. They're slowly just losing one player after another.
Oh my goodness, and that's the capture. Dude, this is not a good position for a side of Mpreg, but Quake White playing that beautifully, honestly. Pressuring from every angle possible into that second pressure, which is exactly what you need to kind of secure that positioning. 3-3 map, we're now on round 7. I don't know, what do you think should change on these mids?
I don't know, because like really early in the mids, Pineapple's team was winning because of the aggression from Quake. They were really feeding off it well. Now, Quake aren't getting aggressive, and they're winning just the spam battle. I think you either need to take more height a little bit, especially with your soldiers, or you need to commit aggressively, but it doesn't seem like you want to do it. As I say that, though, here comes the soldier aggression out of Quake. They take down Motu. It's immediate trade onto JT. Nothing else yet. Pineapple said, I think Nicholas might be about to get run down. He should be. Indus needs to live.
Gamble eats a pipe though. Might die to the chase of Khalil. Khalil looks for the 1v1. Needs to keep that beam on him though. He's not going to live otherwise unless the scout bails him out. He gets bailed out perfectly, but Indus is now getting bombed by a soldier on the scout, and then they wipe.
Oh boy.
Dang. 98% for Indus too. He almost got that Uber right at the end, but it looks like they just weren't playing together there. Gamble and Indus just not. Well, I mean, Gamble being the flank scout necessary. So it's kind of unfortunate, but I digress. The mid, they started well for Mpreg. They were able to dissolve the soldier, but it became trades in the middle of it. So we just needed to make sure on the side of Mpreg they weren't able to lose anybody. But then they ended up trading, and then afterwards just kind of staying in for too long and getting killed.
Yeah, and again, no need to build, right? You got Pineapple on Sniper. They know he's on Sniper now because they were just through 5 basically for free. So you're going to use early. If you're Windows, you're not going to milk at all, which is perfectly fine. You know the gun's there, too. You should have. The guy who got into 5 should have seen it. Yeah, they immediately put focus on the gun. The gun gets cleaned up. Tristan bombs forward. Good amount of cap time. They take down Nicholas. The Heavy is still alive. They are all in this corner, though.
With a Heavy alive, he's going to be the focus person that they're going to choose, but then Taz just caps for free. I mean, when you're playing around a Heavy like that, you got to create some space between the Heavy and the point, just so they can't just walk at the Heavy for free. But now we're up 4-3 for the side of Quake White versus Mpreg.tf for Grand Finals. This could be match point on the side of Quake White, but Mpreg has to find some sort of answer to this. The last mid wasn't very active for the side of Mpreg. Maybe this is the time they go active first. Not really sure. Kevino just gonna do the standard fastball.
No, they're gonna have Pineapple and Sniper is what they're gonna do.
Oh, that is, I did not expect that whatsoever. Let's kind of see what it looks like. Windows kind of just spamming arrows around the mid. Maybe he could be in an angle for the Pineapple snipe.
Oh, Nick is on Sniper, or Scout, that's what happened. Wait, it might be okay. Oh, both Scouts are hurt. Oh, it was so close. It was so close. The commit
from the soldiers. See, if you're going to do that vid, I don't know if sending the soldier and the choke to soldiers is the best plan, but unfortunately, what can you do there? I guess it's like, I don't know if that's something they do often, like switch Frick to Scout and have a sniper. Like, I've never really seen that.
Yeah, I really haven't either. He has no, and this has no heal, by the way, so this is now just 40% ad. So it's essentially like they lost their med immediately on mid, like as far as Uber advantage is concerned. Gamble's on sniper. Nick is building a gun. They have a gun. They're going to have a pyro. They are through to immediately. Tristan bombs for it. He's going to get cleaned up. Gamble's dead.
Oh, these stickies on point are not dead now. Okay, now they're gone.
That's huge.
That might be game here, yeah. The turning point of this game, man. That after that 4th round that Quake was able to cure for their first round of the game.
Wow.
They just didn't lose a single mid or a single round after that, it felt like. That's crazy. But that is GG. That is map. That is the 3rd point achieved for Quake White. So that is grand finals over, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, that's it. 5-3 finish for Quake White on the last map of the series, and a quick 4-1 on Bagel on the previous map, leading to their victory. Now, GG's for both teams. I saw a lot of potential to see this map go longer, but it felt like there was no good reset for Mpreg on that in the final kind of rounds leading to their loss. But I saw a lot of good things. I don't know. I think there was potential there.
Yeah, I mean, I think really the first 3 rounds were essentially Quake getting a little too aggressive, feeding players, and they didn't win, so I'm not going to say their name. Pineapple's team, like, doing a really good job of taking advantage of that, taking advantage of what they were being given. And then after that, they stopped getting, like, really aggressive. Like, yeah, they were still fade bombing. They were still pressuring up top, but they weren't really going in. And they were just winning the fights off of that. They got more damage. They were able to pick off a soldier or a scout here or there. It also helps that Taz just flipped a switch and all of a sudden was 20. He was like, Pineapple was like 12-1, I think, after the first 3 rounds. And then now Taz is 27-12 with 350 DPM. So Taz just flipped a switch, was killing everybody. I mean, interesting. I mean, there's a lot of stats you can look at. It's always fun to analyze stats. Indust had 8 assists and Windows had 22. So like, that tells me a lot of the kills were not coming off the combo. Whereas Taz, Apathy 20-8 by the way with 350 DPM, having a really good game. So yeah, the combo of Quake were just started rolling after those first 3 rounds. They were just making everything happen.
Yeah, I feel like it really comes down to how fast like the side of Quake can kind of activate some of their players. Now, a lot of them have a lot of experience. They've been in losing situations before. It really comes down to the kind of turning point when they can start kind of relatching to the game and kind of activating individually and to kind of secure those rounds. And that's kind of what we saw. Now, the answers for Mpreg were definitely there. It's just we didn't find them quick enough. Nonetheless, the KD is not surprising, really. We have the same kind of players perform with the same kind of finesse, I guess. Both the scouts, all the scouts in the game kind of doing what they needed to do. Apathy doing insane damage. Now, I guess we didn't really look at Apathy enough. I feel like Apathy is like a very strong demo. Like he was doing exactly what he needed to do. He probably commands his team the way he should be. So it's really nice to see. I think they want to do interviews. I'm not too sure if we're doing interviews tonight. Okay, so we're not doing interviews at the moment. Yeah, so we're no longer doing interviews right now, guys. So that should be GG. Now our predictions. What was our predictions like? 3-2 around that. I said 3-2.
I was 3-1, 3-2. Yeah.
Okay, so I think process. I was expecting Mpreg to win, but it looks like we were wrong. So if anyone predicted correctly in the chat, congrats to you. And GG's to all the players. It was a great watch. Gonna do some quick shout outs here for the rest of the stream, unless you have anything you want to say, Uni.
Nah, I'm good.
All right, perfect. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Shout out to Fireside merch. Make sure you guys check out our merch page at merch.firesidecast.tv. Check out the exclusive merch we have on our website. We have some T-shirts, some hoodies, some hats, and some pins. Any type of money we get from our merch is going to be sent straight to our potential funding of future land and production. So make sure you guys kind of partake in those. We also are casting a MG event happening this weekend. I think it's playoffs now, if I remember correctly, and it's going to be invite playoffs. So make sure you guys take a look at that this weekend. Just for a quick shout out to both teams playing Mpreg.tf, and shout outs to Quake White. Great match. Thank you for letting us cast and watch it. I'm going to do some few shout outs for myself. Shout out to everyone at Wild Rumpus. Shout out to Black Swan, like always, and shout out to 6-7. Do you have any other shout outs, Uni?
I didn't think about it. I'm gonna put on another one. Shout out to Space Ghost Coffee.
Ooh, shout out to Space Ghost Coffee. Yep. Also, shout out to Piika for production. You did a very good job tonight. Thank you so much. Shout out to everyone at Fireside. My name is Exile as our play-by-play commentator, and my partner today was Uni, and of course Piika on production. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a great night.